tuned in to a Grown Folks production.
In the mix.
With the commish, Nate.
All right, welcome everybody to Press Pass Live. We're coming to you a little bit late, but that's okay. Work happened, life happens, work got in the way, but I am here, we're here. I'm extremely excited to get into today. Season 104 is upon us, and man, we're gonna dive right into some predictions. Let me bring in my guy, the Detroit Lions head coach, Mr. Trey. How you doing, man?
Doing good. I'm happy we're finally into season 104 after the awful December that we had.
We did have an awful December, but congratulations on your first victory with the rookie quarterback, a lefty. He looked good out there. Did he feel good?
First two victories.
Well, I just now seen that you had the second game already. Technically, before I looked at that, it was only one game.
Yeah, no, it's a bit different throwing a little lefty, I'll have to admit. But I'm enjoying it.
Let me, one quick second. I'm going to give Mr. Trey some juice. It's on my end. It is not on Trey's end because I have turned it down just a little bit for some of the games that we play. We're going to give Trey just a little bit of juice there, and that should do the trick. Well, Trey, let's jump right into it because, man, there is a lot to talk about. We're going to cover the NFC predictions, and so I want you just to go through here and give me your prediction for every single conference. We're going to go conference winner, conference winner, conference winner, conference winner. Then we're going to go three wild card winners, and then we'll give you your bowl prediction. Who's going to be in the bowl? Who's going to win it? We're going to see if we can get through this quickly because, man, I got to be a commish today, and it is not my favorite thing in the whole wide world to do, but we're going to see if we can just dive right into it. I apologize for the little bit of background music as PlayStation gives us their background music. I don't have Madden loaded up. Usually when Madden's loaded up, there's no music because I have it turned off. I just have the PlayStation on right now, so you get to listen to the soothing sounds of the PlayStation menu. Let's start with the NFC East right here, Trey. You got Giants, Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys. Can you believe that the Cowboys are off to an 0-2 start? What is going on in the world? The Giants are off to a 2-0 start. Who do you have winning this division?
Oh, that's tough. Obviously, the Giants just beat the Cowboys this week, so that puts the Cowboys in a hole. They're 0-2 and have a division loss under the belt. I would say that would put the Commanders as the front runner, with the Giants a close second, the Cowboys being third, and then the Eagles being fourth. I think if I had to, that'd be how I'd ranked it. And I think the Commanders will take the division, but I think the Giants and Cowboys will both be wild cards.
I'm taking the Cowboys to win this division. I know it's an 0-2 hole, but I've seen Mr. Dwayne pull himself out of the hole before. 17 points for him, 21 points against him. That's not normal Dwayne offense. Look, I watched the Giants game. I think it just happened last night, or yeah, it was last night. Yeah, the Giants made a spectacular pass to Ross in the corner of the end zone. I really like the Giants, and well, my head says go with the Giants, but my heart says go with your guy Dwayne and the Cowboys. You can't forget about the Commanders, man. Penguins, this is not disrespect, Penguins. I think you're amazing. I just got to go with like the common guy until he tells me he can't make it. That's the only reason I'm going with the Cowboys, but I'm going to get to my wild card winners in just a minute. Give me the Cowboys, Giants and Commanders. They're going to make him fight for it. Don't do it. Don't count out the Eagles. I know 6-25 point loss in the first game. That's not super sexy, but I really like those Eagles. Let's go to the AFC West. Cardinals off to a 1-0 start. Seahawks off to a 1-0 start. 49ers off to a 1-0 start. Rams to an 0-1 start. They lost their game 27-13. How do you like the NFC West?
It's still D-Money's division to lose.
Yeah.
That's you can count the playoff run. That's 21 in a row?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can add to that. This is D-Money's division. I hope that the Cardinals can show him a little something and push him to the edge. I really like what the Seahawks did in week number 1, a big 32-20 victory But look, this is the Kings division until someone dethrones him. Let's go over to the NFC South. We're going to save your North for last. Let's go to the NFC South. Saints off to a 1-0 start, a victory over the Bucks. They got the Panthers up next. They started out 1-0, hanging a 50-burger, 52-21. Buccaneers 0-1 with a 27-42 loss to my Saints. And the Falcons shockingly off to an 0-1 start, 17-27, but he didn't have his number one weapon in Derrick Henry, who was hurt and practiced that week, missed week number 1. What do you think is going to happen in the NFC South?
I think this is Panthers' division to run away with now. I know you're there, Nate, but you get down on yourself rather quickly sometimes, so I don't know if I can fully put you in the front running spots. I got to go with the Panthers. He has a high-powered offense. I mean, 52 points. I think that was one of 250 burgers that were thrown up in week 1. That's just amazing to bet for. I definitely see, Kevin rebounding from his loss to you and climbing up and putting a race to it, but I definitely think it's going to be the Panthers' division to lose at this point.
What's up, Chad? I see you. I see Bill. Of course, Trey's in the chat. I always forget who Bowser's best employee is. You have to remind me.
Santa.
Oh, it's Santa. Okay. I see Dan Bruley in there, Maniac. I see Mr. Priest, who wants me to call his game, even though Press Pass Live is going on. And my dude, Kevin. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Helps me out a ton. I like the Falcons to win this division. I think Derrick Henry missed week 1. He's going to bounce back. I love the Panthers. Panther Nation's my dude. I'm going to try to take him out tonight. But, man, that happened. That game, that 50-burger happened mainly because of turnovers and the running game. He had some explosive big plays. Kevin's going to get things turned around. Look, his week 1 quarterback did not help him at all. I really like what the Falcons have built. And they're just a really dangerous team. We'll have to see. Let's go to the NFC North. Your Lions off to a 2-0 start. Packers, who I think are playing right now, off to a 1-0 start. Vikings off to a 1-1 start. And shockingly, the Bears off to an 0-2 start, giving up 38 points per game. That is not like them at all. What do you think is going to happen here in your NFC South? North, I'm sorry.
Well, if we go based on where we finished the regular season, I was the king of the throne, but obviously things changed. I have to accept, as much as I hate accepting things. But I'm surprised. I asked Hurt what happened the first game because I was surprised at how he lost to the Seahawks. He said it was a playbook issue. He forgot to get his actual playbook in there. And then I played him last night. And he didn't anticipate Jameson Williams being used the way I used Jameson Williams.
I watched that game.
It did not go the way he wanted it, and he wasn't too tickled pink with Jameson Williams. I hope he can rebound from it, though.
He tried to force a lot of passes, and again, that defense just was not the normal Bears defense that Big Hurt has been known for. I like the the Lions in this division. Look, you've got a pretty good quarterback. I'm interested to see what you can. You're one of the few owners that can play well with a rookie quarterback. I'll give you the credit there. But rookie quarterbacks do tend to come back to hurt their team. We'll have to see. You've proven it in the past. I'm going to go with what you've done in the past is kind of the common day thing. I like the Lions to win this division. Packers are going to push you. Vikings are going to push you. It's good to see the Vikings with a turnaround victory after their week 1 loss. And I like what the Bears are trying to do. It's just, this is an abnormal start for him. I do think he'll get things turned around. Give me the Lions to win that division. Let's go 3 wildcard teams. Who are your wildcard teams coming out of the NFC?
My wildcard teams are going to be the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Cardinals.
This is tough, man. I like the Panthers because the Falcons are going to win the division in mine. I like the Packers. It's hard to not like the Bears, Commanders, Cowboys, Cardinals, Seahawks. Man, NFC is just absolutely loaded. Gun to my head, though, I would take the Commanders, sticking with my theme of you've done it before. I would take the Cardinals. Man, this is the tough one. I'm going to go Packers as my surprise. I like Commanders, Cardinals, Packers in that order. Let's see what happens. hold on to your NFC Bowl prediction. Let's go hop over here.
Before we go on, Denver's got an interesting little tidbit in here, having the Cowboys, Cardinals, Lions, and Panthers as his division winners.
I like it. What's up, Bronco man? Cowboys, Cardinals, Lions, Panthers as division winners. That's a pretty good one.
Bird upsets D-Money in the division.
That would turn some heads. It would catch some attention as we moved into the season 104 playoffs for sure. Let's go with the AFC East. You got Bills off to a 2-0 start. So many second week games already done. I think I watched that game. Jets 1-0. Patriots 1-1. Dolphins off to a 1-0 start. How do you see the AFC East playing out?
I think now that he's got the full season to go run with it, I think this is Kobe out to prove a point. That's going to be his division. 3.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And I would have expected him to be a bit more pass happy, but oh my, 17 carries for 177 yards for Brees Hall, I think it was. Absolutely just slashing through the defense.
Yeah, it's hard not to pick him. I'm going Bills anyway, though, because I just think Buffalo has had many seasons to build that team. He got a taste of going all the way to the championship game last year. He's keeping that going here. 2-0 start. I really like Buffalo and what Bill is doing in Buffalo. AFC West, Chiefs 1-0. Chargers 0-1. That was a bit of a shocker for me. Broncos 0-1. Raiders 0-2. Broncos and Raiders off to an 0-3 start after giving them so much praise last season. Raiders feel like they're in a little bit of a rebuild here. What do you think's happening here in the AFC West?
I think this has just become an open-ended thing for, Shocks to openly run away with the division, which I don't really think we've ever seen from the AFC West in quite some time. It's usually a close race up until the final week.
Broncos gave up that other 50 burger that you were talking about earlier. Chargers lost only by 3. Of course, Shocks knows he's my dude, but 42 gave up 39 points in his first game. I'm taking the Chargers. I'm going to give me defense all day. Go get that offense figured out. Give me the Chargers to win this division. But like you said, I think it is going to be completely up in the air for most of the year. AFC South. Titans 1-1 messaged me after his week 1 victory asking what he did wrong. He feels like every time he wins, he gets in trouble around here. I hate that kind of vibe, but such as it is. Jaguars 0-1. Big reason why we're doing what we're doing is a conversation with the Jaguars after his week 1 loss. Colts 0-1. That was a bit of a shocker. 10-20. Texans 0-2. Roger, my dude, you're hurting my heart. Get things turned around over there in Houston. AFC South, how do you see that one playing out?
I definitely still after the draft, my thought was Cincy's going to take it. I think he rebounds from the week 1 loss and ends up taking a run, and I think he'll be the winner of the South.
Weird division for me to pick. I would have said Jaguars are building something that fit him, but after my week 1 conversation, I hope I'm wrong.
That I had nothing to do with.
It feels like Duval is seconds from saying, screw you, screw the OMFL, screw Madden, I'm out. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he turns it around. He's my guy. There's no personal feelings there, but that would have been my pick. Colts just laid an egg week 1. That's not what I would have expected. Titans had my attention, but he drops here in week 2, and Raj is just still a little bit away here from building his team, even with a really good quarterback. Got to get that figured out. Only 8 points in his first 2 games, averaging 8 points, I should say, in his first 2 games. That is not going to get it done. I don't know. I got to go with you, I guess. Colts by default, but this one's way up in the air. Truth, can you show me like that you can just get it done and stay plugged in? Can Duval take what's happening today and like stick me the big massive middle bird and turn it around there in Jacksonville? Can Houston I don't know, man. There's so much here to unpack. Give me the Colts.
This is by far, default. I feel, is the one division that's just a coin toss.
Complete coin toss. I love all those owners. I just don't know who's going to get it done. AFC North, Bengals 1-0, Ravens 1-0, Browns, the 3-time or 4-time AFC representative, Browns 1-0, Steelers 0-1, though he started to get a little bit more offense put together over there. I still think he's a slow burn. That Steelers team was not going to be an easy rebuild. What do you think is happening here in the AFC North?
part of me wants to say that, it's going to be a new leader, but then I just check back into when we get into the later season, Baltimore and Cincinnati start to slow down, and Cleveland keeps the gas going. So I have to go with Cleveland.
Cleveland and Denbrew is like Dwayne and the Dallas Cowboys, just consistent. Like, you know what you're getting. You may not like it, but you know what you're getting. Consistency. And you're right. Nipple and the Ravens, we've seen him get hot, but man, I'm tired of trying to put all my coin over there thinking this is the season. He plugs in and doesn't unplug. It just hasn't happened in like 8 seasons now. And then little Koch, like, he is just right there plugging away, but then just right at the end, just doesn't have enough to get over that hump. Maybe it's just consistently playing teams like the Ravens and like the Browns. That'll kind of beat you up. I know it happens over in the NFC South sometimes. I got to go Browns as well, but I think this is going to be a dogfight to the very end. And I'm going Browns because of Denver's just absolute consistency. Give me your 3 AFC wildcard teams. Who's coming out of the AFC?
I've got to go Bengals, Ravens, and Bills.
2 of them coming out of the AFC North. I don't like the AFC South for all the reasons I couldn't pick who's going to be a winner over there. Give me, though, the Chiefs to win one of the wild cards out of the AFC West. Give me the Jets to take a wild card out of the AFC East. Bengals? I want to say Patriots. I want to say Dolphins. I want to go Raven. Like, there's so many teams. Like, there's a lot of teams vying for that last spot. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the Bengals. And that brings us to our OMFL Bowl. Who is representing the OMFL and OMFL Bowl number 104? And then who's winning it?
If I had to make a prediction now, I'd probably say it's going to be a rematch. It's going to be Den and it's going to be D-Money.
Who's winning it for you?
I think Den learned from his mistakes and doesn't need a Hail Mary to win it.
I'm going crazy out of the box thought. Give me Jets and Kobe to make a run, even as a wild card, get all the way, upset the Browns in the AFC Championship against Penguins and the Commanders. I think he too is going to go on a bit of a run. He's done it before in the playoffs. I think D-Money checks out for the playoffs. He got his one victory, just kind of flex on us and prove that, like, hey, I can win anytime I want to win around here. And now he's going to go ahead and take a couple months off and let somebody else win. Penguins is a great player, multi-time champion here. He is a winner, and I think that this is the season that he gets back in that winning groove. Give me the Commanders to win OMFL Bowl number 104. No comment? Nothing?
It's going to be a great season. I mean, you doubted me when I picked Kobe, or I picked the 7th seed. So now you're going with Kobe, who was the 7th seed, then won the.
I'm all over.
I don't know, Nate.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
It's hard to stick with how you're thinking on a given day when it comes to predictions.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes I just gotta get this thing entertaining. It isn't even truly what I think may or may not happen. Who knows? But sometimes I just can't sit here and agree with you picking the same boring picks every single time. We gotta add in a little bit of flair here, don't we?
I didn't even pick a North winner for the NFC.
That's fair. That's fair.
I kept myself out of this.
All right, Trey, we are going to wrap it up on there. Feel free to hang out with me, though, because I do think that you are a non-board member, that you may have some questions or some thoughts or something that you could poke at here. But I got to kind of turn the corner to a little bit more serious of a discussion. And serious is such a stupid word to use as we talk about video games, because how serious is any of this? Like, I'm just going to go into full. I told the board I was going to do this. I'm telling you right now, and I said, we got a big group here, which is good to see, man. I miss you guys. Good to see everybody. 14-0 Packers ended the first. He's playing the Seahawks. That's going to be a big victory. That would catch some attention, especially after the Seahawks' big win in week number 1. But I told the board I'm going full preacher mode. My wife isn't home yet. She had to work late. But I do just I'm just going to go I'm just going to talk, okay? And then we're going to dig at these rules, and I'm just going to explain why we do what we do. And this will live on inside these threads somewhere. I'm going to just cut this portion out and post it. So maybe you're not here part of the OMFL here on January the 30th, 2023, but you're watching this later and you're like trying to check us out. This is what we're about. This is who we're about. We're going to get to the rules. You can fast forward past this other stuff. But I think, number one, I don't take myself too seriously, y'all. I'm a commissioner, which is a made-up title of a made-up fantasy league, playing a video game with controllers and monitors, and I'm the idiot who's invested thousands of dollars into creating the studio for content for you guys and for my church and for the other things I'm really passionate about. And like, that's who I am. Like, let's not get it twisted. Nate does not take himself too seriously about any of this stuff, okay? This is a video game, nothing more, nothing less. With that said, I think we gotta, this place is called Grown Folks. I even started looking at new names. There's this really neat AI generated name generator out there that I started playing with last night. It was like, maybe it's time for a name change. But Grown Folks was created very intentionally. At the time, I had just left the OMFL. I wanted to get back into leadership. I had given up commissionership when we were a PS3 league. I was ready to get back in. They were not open to that. So I was like, cool, I'm ready. I put another 2 years in, but I was like, okay, you still don't have a spot after 2 years. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just restart and go. And I did. I left with no one. I went and restarted from scratch and built the Grown Folks Online Madden community. It was Grown Folks Madden League, GFML. And if you look at our championship banners, when I started keeping track again, that's the first 3 or 4 was GMFL. Is that right? GFML. Out of that, the OMFL folded. The commissioner, the deal was, if it folds, you give me back what belongs to me, my name, my history, all that. Gave it back to me. Grown Folks Madden League transitioned back to the OMFL, and out of that was born the Grown Folks Online Community. And that name was specifically picked because I want people who want to be adults in all the situations, right? Let's be adults in how we handle conflict. Let's be adults in how we handle video games. And let's create adult relationships that matter. And so out of that was born this community. And I feel like some of the conversations, we've reached that point, Trey, in the Madden cycle where people are frustrated. We're now into the 3rd season. Some of us are frustrated for how last season ended and the complete crash of our CFM and the rebuild and the sim and the things that didn't go perfectly and the things that didn't work perfectly. And so we're frustrated. Some of us are frustrated because we had the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick or the number 5 pick. We just had a bad season and you made me wait 2 weeks and you had to do a complete rebuild. So I don't get all the things that I had before the rebuild. And then I start the new season off with a punch in the teeth. So frustration is building. People are now frustrated, even if they're winning, with how the game plays. This is the time of the Madden cycle where the frustration of a flawed game comes to the surface. And who usually pays for that is commissioners. They pay for it. They pay for it with bad attitudes. They pay for it with complaints. They pay for it with griping. You guys start taking it out on one another. I've had more messages. We're just now in week 2, advanced late last night. I've had more messages in the last 24 hours about owners sending other owners DMs during a game, which is very specifically asked not to do because it never, ever goes well. I've had messages of that happening because people are frustrated. I get it. But at some point, you have to make a decision. I put in the work, put in the effort, put in all of the things that we put in, the 60 hours plus to get the CFM rebuilt. The content, the time away from... I'm not asking for a pat on the back. I'm not asking for sympathy. None of that. I do that because I want to create the space for you. But ultimately, you as an adult have to decide, do I want to do this? Because you could go play Madden anywhere, Trey. Literally, there are thousands of options. Maybe not thousands, but there are hundreds of options, if not thousands, right? You could literally play anywhere with anyone under any commissioner with any rule set. but you decide to play here. And that's an honor. The fact that we have multiple Madden leagues, we have over 300 or 400 members in our community, all from just nothing. Like, you guys just decided to help create this. And I decided to work really hard to give you a place to enjoy. But ultimately, you have to decide, is this the way that I want to play this video game? Because it's not for everybody. This wasn't Nate sitting by himself going, okay, how can I come up with a rule set that allows me to win the most championships ever? In 22 years, or however old we are, and I need to do the math, I've been in 2 championships. I won one back in 2014 or 13 or 15 or something like that. It's been a long time. No one even remembers. It was the last season of that cycle. 90% of the league was unplugged, which is probably the only reason that I won. And then I was in one with Dim Brew a couple of seasons ago. Again, in the last Madden season of the cycle, everybody was unplugged. So that's the only reason Nate made it all the way, right? This isn't me creating rules so that I win. This was created not in a silo. Most of this has been created over years. 90%, I think, of our rules are very common to sim style leagues. And then the rest was created with a board and with owner voice. That's right, you guys have a voice. There's a thread put up every single season that you have an opportunity to tell us the way this league should be ran. And in the last 2 or 3 seasons, most people haven't had a whole lot to say. And yet I hear all these conversations, right? I hear these are things that people say. And I gotta admit, they make me angry because I worked so hard for this place and I put in so much effort. When I hear everybody feels this way, that just, it hits a very sensitive spot for me, because it's like, okay, if everybody's saying it, then why does nobody post it? Why does no one come to me like an adult, hence grown folk, right? At some point, this is the style that most of this league has decided fits what we consider fun, because we have rules that guide the way that games are called, and people play, GM, build their teams, all those things. That's fun. It adds in strategy, gives everybody the chance to play. If you want to play no rules, no nothing, just let people do whatever, there are plenty of leagues out there. Bro, I encourage you, go find one, but that's not who we are, and that's not what we're going to be. Nor am I going to just like be beat up every week about how I've got too many rules. I go through this rule set every Madden cycle, delete as many rules as possible that I think the game now does better or has fixed. And some of the rules that I deleted have had to come back because owners continue to abuse things. You have to ask yourself, if there's a rule because it's being abused because it works, because it's a flaw in a game, because ultimately it's a video game. And we all can break video games and find things that work because the game is flawed. With all that said, I'm going to go through these rules. I'm going to try to give like some understanding and some concepts behind why they are here. I am open to questions. I'm open to a different perspective. But ultimately, this is the way the OMFL runs. We have a board who comes up with these things. We have a board who votes on these things. I do not make these decisions alone. Things are split. If things are on the line, I may make the decision. And some of the bigger aspects of our rules were decided by the league. Full no switch was a full league vote where 85% of people voted for it. I think at the end it was probably closer to 65%, right? And we may go back. But either way, the league has voice. Big things they vote on, and every single season, people have an opportunity. But at the end of the day, you have a choice as an adult. You can choose your attitude. You can choose if this is fun, or you can choose that this is not fun. You can choose to pick the OMFL apart. You can choose to pick the Madden game apart, or you can choose, I enjoy the relationships, I enjoy the strategy, I enjoy that everything is fair, and that I have just as fair of a shot as anyone else around here. And now I'm going to take a good hard look in the mirror and decide, what am I doing as a player that makes me not win games here or not enjoy this, and how can I fix those things? Or I can choose to go play somewhere else. That is completely up to me, and you get to make that choice. So on the screen, I'm going to cover the general and the off season very quickly. Most of this stuff is boring, doesn't need a lot of explanation, but we'll go through here. Number one is the values. It is so key that you guys understand our values. Everything is guided by our values. Brotherhood over victory. Problem is, People like to win. No one likes to lose. People like to be competitive. No one likes to not care. That is why you play a video game that is so flawed and so broken the way Madden is. But at the end of the day, we are here to build relationships and have a good time. That over winning, which includes learning how to lose gracefully, learning how to receive feedback gracefully, even if you don't agree. Have the conversation where you are being kind to each other and having that conversation in a way that moves things forward. Strategic gameplay from every owner, especially board members, especially my longtime members, especially bowl games. This bowl game got ripped apart this past season. We had long conversations, completely disagreed with me. But at the end of the day, we got on the same page because the bowl games should represent the very pinnacle of what gameplay looks like in the OMFL. You should participate in communication. This is why we have incentive programs to award owners, right? You should help be a part of building relationships, of being a part of the community. That is what makes this experience different. If you just want to play Madden, there are leagues that's all they do. And there's no relationships and there's no rules. And you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And if that's fun, please go do that. That is not who we are. And then as a board, we work really hard for you, create a space that you enjoy this place. And the thing that I wish I could hammer into my head and everyone else's head is expect the best out of people. Don't assume the worst. You know who you are. Stop assuming the worst of everyone. Not everyone is out to get you. Not everyone is out to cheat you. Not everyone hates you. Like, stop expecting the worst out of people and instead expect the best. All the rest is like normal stuff. Like, don't cover stuff up with just joking. Don't be a jerk. Don't be hateful and mean. Like, it is what it is. Our FPR violations, if somebody breaks a rule, submit it. We have a group of long-term members who watch videos now, and they'll give you feedback and they'll tell you if they see what you've seen or if, nope, we don't see what you see and you may not agree with it, but I encourage you to submit it. That's why we have this system. Some of you choose not to do that. That is completely up to you. It needs to be covered. Color Rush Week, Throwback Week. Bill does such a great job of helping keep us on top of that. Games are every 72 hours. Here's all of our settings. That will get updated this week because it does need to get updating. There's nothing else here that you need to know. Don't quit games. None of this is all like normal stuff. There had to be a stupid tanking rule because people started thinking other people were tanking. I hate this rule. I wish I could delete it. Almost deleted it last night. I kept it just so that people feel empowered. That if they feel somebody's breaking something, they can do something. This idea that immediately heads should roll if they break a rule, that is not how we do it. It's right here. If somebody gets in trouble, they get a warning, they have a conversation, they have a chance to fix it. If they get in trouble about a totally, completely different thing, then they're still going to get another warning. And if we get a bunch of like first time things, then maybe there's a different conversation that has, but it's never going to be let heads roll just because they did something one time. Let me scoot to the end and spend most of the time on offense and defense, but I'll cover the fair play, like off-season regulations very quickly. Again, I think most of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. There had to be a cap penalty put on this. We removed it for a couple seasons, and we had teams just doing craziness because the way Madden handles cap. We had to do this to keep things fair so that the teams who put in all this effort to manage their cap and all kinds of stuff, that they don't go doing all kinds of crazy things like clearing their cap every single season and going into the offseason with $100 million and offering crazy contracts. That happened. That's why this is here. You can earn more through our incentive plan. If you come, you plug in, you do things that build community here, you get incentivized, you get a reward for that. You see our trades. The biggest thing is, like, we limit you for your top players. We open it up for the bottom half of your roster. You got to be here 4 weeks just so that we know that you're plugged in, you're doing what you're supposed to, you're going to play by our rules and all that fun stuff before we start letting you trade things. Practice squads, they are what they are, right? Some of us use them, some of us don't. We try to protect your players and make it a system where, like, you can make a decision if you're calling a player up or not calling a player up. A whole lot like happens in the NFL. You see all the stuff about free agency here. There's nothing I'm going to spend my time on off season when it's not the end game stuff. It's like during season or in that like time after the draft. Max bid $10 million. because we've seen teams with $100 million every year putting $50 million on 1-year contracts, ruining players. It's just stupid. We had to put a cap. There's a name. I could put a name to these things, right? $10 million cap. And then this offseason, we had to start putting in the 5-bid max and the priority level, just because, again, we had a weird situation with a lot of good free agencies and a lot of free agent players and a lot of money. And so we had to put in a cap. Everything else is pretty normal. And there's nothing else to add here. Position changes. We have a form. If you want to move positions, you have to go submit to the form. Form tells you if you can do it or not. If you can, you post what player, you post what their new position is. Player development. This is just trying to keep things realistic. A rookie doesn't go from the college to the NFL and all of a sudden they're 10 times faster than they ever were, or they can throw 50 yards deeper than they ever were. We just feel like there's some attributes that should be capped and you can't adjust at all unless the game does it itself in the normal dice rolls. And so you can see those caps right here. We can't just start building a bunch of super players. You can see all the abilities. They're only on in the deuce. They're not on here. And you can see our roster minimums, one of which was adding a fullback. Why? Because teams were taking super fast tight ends, not carrying a fullback, and in the handful of plays or the 50% of plays or whatever they needed a fullback, they would put somebody back there. So it's like, okay, just everybody carry a fullback. If you don't use a fullback, awesome. Then you just got one guy taking up a position. But if you do, you have a player there. All really simple stuff. I don't think anybody has a problem with any of the general settings or any of the general contract situation. This is where we start getting into the fun stuff and the stuff that people may or may not disagree with. I've always said most of our rules, Trey, it's because you're here. I'm talking to you, even though I know other people are here. No telling what's being said here in the chat. Oh, it's pretty quick, quietly. Oh, look, Deuce turned it off as well. So if you just mixed it up, like intentionally mixed it up, this idea of I just play, I just play. Whatever happens, happens. Awesome. There's 1,000 other leagues out there we've already talked about. Go play there. Here, you got to be intentional about your play calling. We have rules around it. And because people don't mix it up, because people don't run the plays that they're called the way they're designed, and we go to Madden leagues, the championship, the YouTube videos, all the other stuff that we know is out there. We got to make 50 adjustments. We got to move this player here. We got to put fullbacks in or running backs in at the quarterback and run all these crazy shotgun run. There's a reason that stuff does not represent what we want our gameplay. And because guys don't mix it up, they're not intentional, we have to have percentages around certain things. I stand by it. If you intentionally mix up your play calling, you run the plays like they were designed to run, and you stay focused on what you're supposed to stay focused on, you will have no FPR issues here ever without memorizing a rule, without remembering what, people make it sound like they got to print out the rules next to them. And some of you need to. And if you do, maybe this isn't the place for you to play because you don't play by the style we need, right? So that's a question you got to ask yourself. You mix it up, you don't switch, and you run the play as designed, then you will have no problems at all. We're a full no switch league. This is the first Madden cycle we're trying it. We voted. Oh no, it was the last one. I'm sorry. It was the last Madden cycle. I get them all mixed up in my head. This is now the second Madden cycle. The league as a whole has voted for that. Again, the thread is there. If people ever want us to re-vote, re-look at it, we can do that. But right now, as a league, we've decided strategy, play calling, the ability to open up the playbook, a full no switch league is the way to go. It awards the really good, skilled thumbstick player that's really good at controlling, which my old butt isn't, right? But some of you are really, really good at it. It rewards you because you can make plays that others can't, and they need to hurry up and switch, right? And it opens up the playbook. Can't use coach suggestion, can't use concepts. You need to learn your playbook. Third and long play actions are banned because there's no one in the NFL biting on a 3rd and 25 play action. But in Madden, if you run play action on 3rd and 25, the AI computer code is going to bite on your play action and leave a bunch of players open. We can't control that. We can't rewrite the game. And so because of that, it is banned. Not a hard concept. 3 wide receivers and shotgun runs from the 10-yard line. It's because they are easy. Watch any Madden Championship League games or any of that stuff. Most of those offenses are ran out of the shotgun because Madden just doesn't defend it really well. So we say you can use it. But when you get in the red zone, it is not a gimmick you can now pull out for an easy touchdown. We're already seeing 50 burgers. Can you imagine if there's no rules around this stuff? We'd see 50 burgers who would become commonplace all the time. So we ban it inside the 10-yard line. You can run shotgun, it just can't be a run. You can run runs out of all the other formations, 2 tight ends, normal personnel, like big personnel, like get creative with your play calling. You just can't run it out of there. And then finally, free-form passing. And it's because we're a no-switch league. Free-form passing is the one where you can hold like L2 or L1 or something. You can move the cursor. You can throw it wherever you want to throw it. It's not the other 2 settings that we do allow you to use. It's the one where you can put the ball wherever you tell it to put. The reason we took that one off is because we're a full no-switch league. And since there's no way to combat that defensively, it gives the offense too much of an edge. So we just removed it completely and just said there's no free-form passing. I feel like all I've been doing is talking, but this is what we've come to in Madden 23. Madden, thank you, appreciate you. Caution plays just means you can use these. Just use them sparingly. All right, don't abuse them. Loaded formations. This is where 2 receivers are to one side. Right, the twins formations, closed or bunched formations. There's also like close, which can be in here. There are probably 100 other names I don't have memorized. You get what I'm saying. It's when receivers are bunched up on one side or the other, or they're in very close, or they're loaded to one side or the other. You know what we're talking about. You can use them, don't abuse them. Slants or drag routes, especially on 3rd down and in the red zone. We understand plays are limited. We're just saying don't run that every single time. Every 3rd down, don't run a slant. Every 3rd down, don't run a drag. Every time you're 1st and goal from the 3, don't run a slant route. Like mix it up, find other plays, get a bigger playbook, do what you got to do. Anything that's 3 gaps or more, that's just mainly because, again, it's AI controlled. And once the defenders, the AI defenders are flowing one way, a lot of times you can get an easy cutback. We don't want to see that. Cutbacks happen. We now have the new cutback, kind of animation. That's not the word I'm looking for, but gimmick with the controller that you can do. You can do cutbacks.
Hard cut.
That, one cut. Yeah. We're just saying keep it to a minimum. Keep it realistic. Most running backs, unless they get a lucky player, there's some superb Barry Sanders, can't be cutting back 3 and 4 gaps. But yet in Madden, you can do it all the time. Here are the ratios. These are the things because people don't mix it up. This only should matter if you don't know how to mix it up. Take that for what you want. 12, 21, 22 personnel. This speaks to fullbacks, running backs. 12 is two running backs, 1 tight end. 21, 2 tight ends, 1 running back. 22, 2 tight ends, 2 running back? Yeah. Because 1 receiver, right? These are all the formations that you should be running most of your game. Any of them. Single back with 2 tight ends. Pistol, strong, weak, far, near, I formation. All the combinations of those that you can get. You can run all those. You can run twins of those. Just don't run twins 60% of the game, right? Run single back, 2 tight ends, There's a lot of formations that you can run. There are more plays in just these formations that you could fill up a 500 play playbook than not filling it up with these formations. Bunched or closed formations, 40% or more, you're going to get yourself in trouble. It should stay under 40%. You should be running other formations. Any formation that runs a receiver out of a normal actually, this one's got to move. I'm sorry. This one's got to go away. So I got to actually delete this one because the new rule, the new wording is any offensive formation where the wide receiver is out of their normal pro formation. So bunch, closed, close, twins, whatever other name they call those in Madden. If a receivers are not lined up to the outsides in their normal formation, those should be 30% or less of your calls. 1 out of every 3, right? 3 out of every 10 can be those formations. You start getting more than that, you might get yourself in trouble. It might be fine, but you might get yourself in trouble. If it's 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, you're definitely getting yourself in trouble. 3rd downs. If you run 5 3rd downs in the game, and 3 of them come from these non-regular formations, you're going to get yourself in some trouble. Keep them below the 30%. This does not count for motion sweeps, fake sweeps, that kind of stuff. This is another play I wish I could delete. Avoid running inside and outside. It doesn't have to be 50%. Just don't do one or the other the entire game. That's basically what we're asking. Mix it up as close as you can. Mix it. It could be 60-40. It could be, 55-45. It could be, something like, just don't 75-25. Don't do that kind of stuff and you'll be fine. RPOs and options, 25% of the plays, mainly because it's a gimmick. People get tired of seeing it. And if we let them, they'll run it 7 out of 10 plays. Just keep it limited. If you hit 28% or whatever, no big deal. Let's not make a big deal out of this, right? And then run past no more than 70% of the game. This is mainly for blowouts. If you're not in a blowout, if you're not losing big, then this should probably be closer to 50. But if something gets away from you, you're in a blowout, you're either winning big or you're losing big, you may need to pass or run a little bit heavier so you can do that. No non-wide receivers, so tight end, fullback, halfback, can be targeted more than 50% of the game. This is targeted, not completed passes, because we're not in control of how many passes are completed. We're just in control of who we throw the ball to. Excuse me. Because of that, and because guys abuse, so the rule was 50%. No one player can catch more than 50%, because everybody complained, oh, they're only throwing it to the one receiver 80% of the game. They need to mix it up. And you're right, they're not mixing it up. So we got rid of the rule and said, okay, no one person can catch more than 50% of your game. Here's what owners started doing. Running 2 tight end formations offensively and throwing to both tight ends as much as they possibly could, and then mixing in fullback and running back within that, and then wide receivers were catching 3 passes a game. That's what we were seeing for some of our games, especially really important games, hence the playoffs. So we had to bring this rule back. Tight ends, fullbacks, halfbacks, if you're a non-wide receiver, they can't be targeted more than 50%. Make it perfect 50-50 if that's what you want. That's more than fair, and it is because the game does not cover those players the way that they should. Tight ends, every tight end is Jason Calise around here, right? Like every tight end is some Hall of Fame tight end because they have 89 speed. Trust me, I know, I have one. If I wanted to go to him all the time, I could. So because of that, we have to put rules governing, forcing you to build receivers and build a whole team so that you can throw them the ball. Line of scrimmage, manually motion players must be set before hike. We actually ask you, just don't do it as much as you can. If the play has it designed, that's fine. What guys were doing is they were manually motioning a player to get an extra blocker on a run. Just lame stuff. Consistently running the play to 0. Don't do it until the 3 minutes. Again, guys are just trying to milk the clock. Quarterbacks, don't wobble. Just drop straight back. Here's what I'm seeing in a lot of games. Wobble. As soon as the snap, they're moving left or right, and then they're wobbling to the center. Well, why are they doing that? It's so that they can get the AI to block up and they have more time. We all have to deal with the same game. Just drop straight back like a normal quarterback. I have seen this more times this Madden than I have the last handful of Maddens. Guys are dropping back 12, 15, 20. There's a sack the other night, 24 yards down the field. That's just, guys, that's not what we do here. All right, step up in the pocket like a normal NFL quarterback. Again, in the NFL, if you drop back 25 yards like that, you're going to get sacked. You're going to get yourself into some serious trouble. But because Madden forms the pocket, don't release and come get you, you can just float back as much as you want. And it is not great, this Madden. That's why we say after 10 yards, step up in the pocket. Throw it when you get to the numbers. Why, Trey? It's because when you get to the numbers, Madden tells the game to release receivers and come after the quarterback. So I could sprint out to the numbers. I could stop at the numbers. Your quarterback is going to release off the receiver. I'm going to dump it off to the receiver. It's lame. It's stupid. It's been broken in Madden forever. Just don't do it. Make a decision before you get to the numbers. Throw it away or run with your quarterback. It's really, really, really simple. Running back. No running back should have more than 80% of your carries. We're trying to get you to build an entire team. Everyone pretty much follows this rule, even though it was already broken in week number 1. You got to use your backup running back for at least 20% of your carries. No parallel or running backwards after a handoff or a pass catch. The running backwards has happened a lot this Madden. The reason is because we're a no switch league. And so the computer takes bad angles. So the reason owners run backwards, even for just a yard or two, is so that the computer will take a bad angle, they will get around them with the speed and break it off for a big play. It's lame. Don't do it. Avoid it at all. I get the parallel thing. I'm kind of okay with some of that. Like if it happens time to time. It just does. The animation kicks in and you're like trying to get him to go at a slight angle forward and he still runs parallel. Like I'm kind of okay with that. What I'm not okay with is like these long parallel runs that gets CPU defenders to take a bad angle and the going backwards. The going backwards, take a loss. Learn to take a loss. You called a bad play. You didn't block it up. You got busted. Get them next play, man. Get them next play. And then quarterbacks are allowed to take 35% of the total runs. We're just trying to stop seeing like, Michael Vick's again, getting 30 carries a game because there's no real price to be paid. Spin and juke.
Am I interjecting here, Nate?
Yeah, please.
Now, this is something that I would bring up as just somebody that's new. How do the wide receiver carries count into that? Because I know as of recently, I'm starting to use, a little bit of my speed as a.
Are we talking about like laterals and not laterals, like sweeps and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. Parallel is going to happen there, right? Because the animation is taking you parallel. And so I'm fine with parallel. I'm not fine with you going backwards. You get that sweep. I know they're called other things in different plays, but if you get that sweep and you immediately have to go backwards, so down on your screen to get around somebody, you should just take your loss. If you run parallel there, that's where I'm fine with it, right? You're going a couple because that play is already taking you parallel. Here's where I'm not fine with parallel. Halfback taking a stretch. And stretch is still supposed to be angled, right? Towards that tight end, towards that outside tackle. A player taking that stretch, but then taking it straight parallel till they get outside the numbers and then trying to cut it up. That's why I'm not fine with the parallel running. But I think on a sweep, the play naturally takes you there, right?
Yeah. And also, would those wide receivers, with our 80-20 running rule, would that count as a carry for essentially halfback too?
That's a great question. I think if guys were like right on the cusp, if the 80% came to halfback number one and the 20% came to other receivers, I'm not okay with that. But if there were like some kind of mixture, look, that's a gray area that we've never had happen, so we'd have to consider it. Full house. Who'd you say Bowser was? Oh, Santa. Sorry, Santa. Full house. Yes, totally. That is a pro formation. You can use that because I think that counts as a. Would that be 21 personnel? Yeah, because usually it's fullback, tight end, running back.
Yeah, it's two wide receivers, a fullback, a tight end, and a running back.
So 21. I think you bring up a great point, and I'd have to ask the board. I think I wouldn't worry about it until it became an issue. But if you're saying, Nate, I'm interested because I want to run 6 sweeps a game, then I think we'd have to have the conversation. But currently hasn't been that big of a problem. Spin and juke, we just say don't do it as soon as you get the ball. It's just like most players can't humanly spin the second they get the ball and they're getting sacked. Like, again, just learn to take a loss. The fourth down rules, I get it. They're not perfect. There's no perfect rule. I get it. But we try our best. And if you got a better solution, please bring them up. But it is what it is. The no huddle, again, no perfect solution. We don't want to see guys play no huddle because, again, we're thinking strategic football. And a defense can't mix up their plays if you're running no huddle. They're limited as to what they can call. Pre-snap changes, it falls under the majority rule. Again, if you just don't run the play that you called, and if you don't like it, call a different play. If it takes you 16 adjustments to get the play to work, then you're probably not doing something right. It's simple. It just is. It's just simple, guys. Just run the play that you called in the Madden playbook. Kickoffs, these have names to them. Running to one side and then trying to take it all the way to the other side. We see a little less of that this Madden. We see more kickoff returns this Madden, but a little less of that like one side to the other. This was a gimmick that people wouldn't stop using. And we would say, don't do that. And they would keep doing it. So we had to put a rule in here. Well, it wasn't against the rules. Okay, now it's a rule. And then this other one. This is Brady. Brady's not going to watch our stuff anymore. This is, attach Brady's name to this. Brady would purposely not stop switching players to cause lag on the kicking team so that they would shank a kick and he could get a return or get good yardage. Just lame, stupid stuff. So now there's a rule here. If you don't do lame stuff and you mix it up, you're going to be fine. Okay, everybody's sick of hearing Nate. Let's get over to the defensive rules and get out of here. But Trey, please keep interjecting because I think that's perfect. And I will keep rambling if I keep rambling. And I am so out of words for today.
I think me and Denbrew have gotten this pretty classified, but I believe it's Bronco Man was asking, is pistol considered base or pro formation?
Yeah, that was Bronco Man. My bad. I thought it was Santa. Yes, pistol under 2 tight ends or 1 tight end, right? Two, with I guess pistol doesn't have 2 running. They don't put a fullback in pistol, do they?
Like you can get full pistol with full house
yep.
into it.
So you can with that. So again, as long as 2 receivers in normal position, 1 tight end, 2 tight ends. Yeah, you covered it.
I think I certified it.
Yeah, you covered it. And if you're like, hey, I'm questioning, just hit me up. We'll figure it out. It's not like I have every formation memorized. It's just like, just run the normal formation. Same thing,
now,
man. Go ahead.
I would like to, because I know I took a punt return last night. The punt return was put to the sidelines. I think I was at an angle when I returned it.
Yeah, if you go to the other sideline, it is what it is. What we don't want to see is you grabbing it on one sideline and then like running parallel and then backwards and then spin moving and juking and doing all kinds of like weird animation stuff to get a return.
Yeah.
That's the big, just don't do weird stuff. Just because Madden allows it doesn't mean you should be doing it. Again,
if it's a natural movement,
yeah,
then yes.
I'm not saying you can't juke or you can't spin. Just don't do weird stuff that you know is going to bust a kick return. We don't see it as much anymore because Madden has just done a much better job with special teams in general, but we still do see it. Full no switch line, unless something happens. Fumble, then you can switch to try to make a play. So can the offense. Tackle battles, the offense doesn't have to switch because they are the person in the battle, but you can switch to help. If the ball is tipped in the air, both teams can switch to go make a play on the ball. And then kickoff and punts. If you're the defensive team, you can switch 1 time. So time it, switch your 1 time, go make a play. And if you want to stay the kicker, and then if all of a sudden they break it and you switch and go make a tackle, then that's your 1 switch, whatever. Again, same thing. Don't coach suggest, don't concept, just learn your playbook. The general rule is 1 DB more than the receiver. So we are giving you on defense, you could run a nickel defense here. If you chose to run a nickel defense as your normal defense, we are allowing you to do so, okay? You're going to pay the price in the run game, but we're allowing you to build that kind of team. Excessive use of man or zone, more than 70%. The honest truth is that is for extreme circumstances like blowouts. If you are blowing a team out or getting blown out, that can come into effect. If you're in a normal game, that should nowhere even come close to 70%. It should be as close to 50-50 as reasonably accepted, including your 3rd down calls, which we'll get to here in just a little bit. Defensive play calls don't count inside the 5-yard line or inside of 3 minutes when we see no huddle, just because you're limited, right? There's only so many plays you can run inside the 3-yard line, so many formations. I'm not expecting you to come out in 3-4 and get ran on easy or come out in some weird formation that's, because you're forced to. We're not trying to help you lose, but we're trying to keep things fair. So inside the 5-yard line, you can be more limited on your play calls, and under 3 minutes, if the other guys are running no huddle and you're just using the play, you call the same play 3 or 4 times. It is what it is, right? You got to do what you got to do. Man defense, again, this is because people refuse to run man defense. Every 3rd down, you're going to see zone. You're going to see probably why am I drawing a blank? The 3 zone. Why I'm drawing a total blank?
Cover 3.
What is it?
Cover 3?
Cover 3. Jesus, I just total blank. I need a nap. Cover 3 every 3rd down. That's what you're going to see, right? So unfortunately, because people won't put in regular mix up on 3rd down, we've had to put in a rule to say 40% of the time on 3rd down, you have to call man defense. 4 out of every 10 3rd downs needs to be man defense. This is minimum expectations. If you go above it, awesome. But most teams don't struggle with that. Man defense should be called the 40%. You have to rush 3 defensive players. Again, that's probably an old rule. Maybe can go away. I almost deleted it last night. Just kind of staying because I don't know. It's a rule that no one struggles with, so you shouldn't even have to think about that. These are plays you should just be cautious. Abusive blitzes. We don't want to see teams blitzing 70% of the time, which we have before. So we have to put in like anything over 40%, you're probably not mixing it up. Running the same defensive play from different formations back to back. Again, we see, well, I mixed up formations, true, but you ran 4 cover 3s in a row. You ran 4 cover 2 zones in a row, but they were out of different formations. So it's like, if it's the same play, it's the same play. It doesn't matter what formation you call them out of. Just mix up the formations that you're calling out of, right? I get it. If it's a 3rd and long, and on 2nd and short, you called a cover 3, and in 3rd and long, I'm not saying you have to run man, even though you need to get the 40%. Just mix it up, okay? It's not that hard for me. Pre-snap adjustments, same thing like the offense. You got to make 50 adjustments. You're probably not calling the right play, or you're not playing in the right place. This just isn't the place for you, right? You cannot hot route all linebackers to blitz. We've seen that too. Guys doing the little flip as soon as the snap, right? And everybody would come rushing after the run. So they'd wait, oh, it's a run. I'm flipping this, and then everybody would come and they would just shut down your run. Lame stuff. Don't do it. And then D-line crashing. You can set that pre-play to crash left, crash right, or crash middle. It's just a stupid gimmick that is not the kind of gameplay. So those 3 things are banned. Gameplay rule adjustments. Again, this is just designed to help keep things fair. If you're in man defense, you should be covering the man that you're designed to cover. We do allow you 1 or 2 plays. If you take a guess and you're trying to go make a play, I'm cool with that. Dwayne showed me a play in one of his games in the last couple months or whatever, where a guy did leave his man assignment to go make a play and get a pick. 1 or 2 times, I'm cool with it. The offense should make you pay when you get out of position. All the time, that's a problem. You need to cover the man that you're designed to cover. If the man that you're designed to cover is a running back and they stay in the block, you can go after the quarterback. That's something that you can do. If you're in a zone defense and you bite on a play action or a run fake, you're supposed to get back. You're not supposed to just become a free blitzer that goes after the quarterback. If you don't go after the quarterback, I'm covering the fullback, right? And the fullback doesn't go out, they're pass protecting. You're allowed to stay in a short zone. And Trey, I know like you and I had a discussion after one of our games.
Yes.
Is that going to be definitely spelled out? It hasn't been. And it's something I got to bring up to the board. Honestly, it just got lost between the cracks of crashing CFMs and everything. The general rule is just keep it short, under the 5 to 10 rule. Like, I'm not going to, probably should spell it out. But if I got to start breaking out a ruler, and that's where I ended up with you, Trey. You and I had a discussion in a play that sealed the game. The truth was, if I'm being honest, the truth is Nate shouldn't have made the throw. Because I'm mad that I made the throw, I'm trying to now use a rule to cover up and say that, you shouldn't have been there either. I just don't want to play that game. At some point, the offense has to take responsibility for the plays that you called, and the defense has to take responsibility for the plays they called. If you play a short zone, keep it short. I will work with the training team. Oh, the door. Huh? Now I'm wrapping up something. Our garage door went out today. I forgot. And my wife was calling to say, open the garage door. And I ignored her phone call, thinking she was just getting off work. Oops, I'll get in trouble here in just a second. Anyway, we'll probably better define that for people. But it should be a very short zone. You shouldn't be 15, 20, 25 yards down the field. Let's wrap this up, man. Don't move players on special teams. It causes AI flaws. Pretty much everybody gets it. That's a pretty common rule. Manual pre-snap is controlled to the player you're controlling. So if you need to move a safety into a different position, move a linebacker that's how Madden does this, you're not even blitzing, but they put your player automatically up on the line like they're blitzing to fake it out. If you want to manually move that guy back, you can. You just have to stay as them. So if you manually move someone, you have to stay as them. Don't put safeties in the box. We're not trying to have 8 in the box stopping the run all the time. Don't do the, show blitz all the time. Run commit is only used in situations of 3 yards or less. Don't be run committing. It's just like these are common things. Adjustments should be, you should, just like offense, less than 50% of the time you should make adjustments. The rest of the time, run the play that you called. And then if you make any like massive adjustments, shifting my defensive line left to right, pinching them in the middle, shifting my linebackers left or right, show blitzing, anything that moves an entire position group means that like no manual movement should happen. You shouldn't manually move after doing a full position group, except for 8 in the box. Like if you come out in a formation that sticks one of the safeties down close to the line of scrimmage, you're allowed to move that player back. No big deal. And then last, golly, I'm sick of hearing me. I know you guys are. Last, hit sticks on punts or kicks. It just got lame with Madden. It felt like you could just run down there and hit stick and get a fumble. Not seeing it as much. Maybe this is something that can go away later, but it's still super lame. You're just trying to get a free turnover. Just call it for what it is. You cannot switch until after the ball is caught. It's because we're trying to make special teams matter. So we're trying to make punt returners matter, kick returners matter, and then all kick returns. Again, this is Dwayne. Like, attach his name to it. They have to go between the numbers. Just like,
It's D-Money.
D-Money. Yeah, I said Dwayne. My bad, Dwayne. It is what it is. I'm so tired. And it is what it is. You get the point.
I got
Kick
you,
it
mate.
between the numbers. If the wind's blowing, do the best of your ability. Don't make a big deal out of this, guys. Like, at some point, we have to follow the rules. And at some point, we are not going to get upset about one minor rule infraction. You did not lose a game because of one minor rule infraction. When Trey picked me off to seal the game, even though I disagreed with him and was hot for a few minutes, he didn't do anything. I lost the game because I made a bad decision. I made some turnovers. I threw that game away. At some point, as an owner, you gotta look in the mirror and you gotta go, I didn't play well. I lost that game. It's okay. I'm gonna get him next game. I'm gonna get him next week. I'm gonna get him next season. Whatever. You gotta make those decisions on your own. So, any pushback here, probably all kinds of stuff here in the chat that I did not get to read, but it looks like you've been reading it. 33-29 Seahawks, he said end of fourth, like end of the game, Meek?
I'd assume that would be it, which,
It's a
if we
weird
go
way to
back
say
to the
end of
draft
game.
show,
He says end of the fourth. Wow, what a comeback for the
I think that
Seahawks.
was I think that was more of a shot at Priest for his 2 score updates.
Yeah, Priest,
But,
man. He wants his games called so bad.
If we go back to that draft show,
Oh my gosh.
Priest made a bet that he just lost.
Yeah, is what it is, Priest. Sometimes that mouth overrides you. Listen, I stand by. If you mix it up, you don't need to print rules. You don't need to memorize things. You just need to be aware of what you're calling and pay attention to your game. I don't think that's asking a lot from an adult. Mix it up. And if you do have an infraction in your game, whether it was someone else or whatever it is, submit it. Let's review it. Let's have an adult conversation. I'm not here to slap anybody on the hand. I'm not here to tell anybody they suck. I'm not here to do. I'm just here to like treat you guys fairly and like uphold the standards that as a community we have decided. And we'll do that to the best of our abilities. And you're awarded for participating in extra things in this league. And I stand by. I think that this is the best community to play this game, but it ain't for everybody. And if it ain't for you, I get it. No hard feelings, no love lost. I love you. I do. When I say that, Trey, I love our owners. I love you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. You could do this anywhere. You decide to do it here. And I respect that, man. I respect the hell out of every one of you. And at the same time, we have a set of rules that govern the way that we communicate, the way that we interact with each other, and the way that we play this game. And you guys got to decide if that's the way that you want to play. And it's okay if you just said, no, it's Brady, right? Brady's like, nah, sorry, it's just not the way I want to play. Cool. Thanks. Appreciate you. Love you. Have fun at your next league, and we'll keep on. And enough of us do that. We will change the way that we do things.
A perfect example, Nate. During Madden last year, you and I weren't on the best of terms early on.
Listen, you and I have had our moments, period.
True. But now here we are. We're going into season 3, and I've been on Press Pass Live with you all season.
It's true. Listen, I feel like I'm not a hard guy to get along with. Approach things the correct way. Let's have conversation. We may end the conversation with agreeing to disagree. But I got a DM this morning from an owner who's no longer here, who left in a very ugly way, apologizing and saying that it was the healthiest, best community he'd ever been a part of, and he ruined it, and that was on him. And that didn't make me feel good. And just being honest, it doesn't make me feel good that somebody said that. I didn't want him to leave. I tried everything I could to get him to chill out. But you're adults, and sometimes you don't want to chill out, right? And sometimes you want to go do your thing, and I respect that. But at the same time, I have a duty to the other owners and the community that I've built over 22 years to protect our culture and the way that we treat each other, and know that there's no hard feelings if you decide that the gameplay we have is not for you. Trey, I appreciate you, man. I've talked enough. I got an upset wife with me now. I got a game tonight. I got so much going on. I need a nap in between all this. So close us out. Closing thoughts as we get... I hope I don't have to talk about this again. Next show, hopefully we'll be able to do power rankings, all kinds of fun stuff. But close us out with some final thoughts as season 104 is quickly upon us. Oh, answer this question. Does Priest stay out of chat for the next 48 hours? Because my guy got it.
Priest's probably going to stay in chat for the next 4 weeks, because he made a bet with me and her, and if we're keeping honest here, he's got 2 Madden copies to buy.
That's so funny. Close this out, man.
Yeah, it's season 104 is off to a great start. We're getting our games in, getting them fast. Some upsets have happened so far, some surprising results. I'm just happy that we're getting everybody back into the stride of, getting our games in. And when it comes to just communicating with somebody, if you don't have something nice to say, hold off. I know I'm guilty of it plenty of times where, something happens in the game, I'm in the heat of the moment, I say something, and then I instantly regret it 5 minutes later when I've kind of cooled off.
Which is why, Trey, and I don't mean to cut you off, but we hit the point. Yeah, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. This is why we say don't message each other during a game. Because sometimes you will just react, and like 20 minutes later, you're like, crap, maybe I should just chill out. Maybe I should let that go, whatever, right? And so it's like, that's why we say don't do these things, because you'll regret it. And now you've got tension, you've got a bad relationship. It's just, we don't need all that stuff.
Yeah. And I know I've beat, over the past month with all this rebuild and all that, I've beat the dead horse. But for me, that's my way of just, I'd rather make fun of the situation, because how are you going to expect that to happen to us? Like, of all things, us to have the entire league go poof, I try to make fun of the situation. If I'm coming off the wrong way, that's on me. But it's just like, certain situations, read the room. If it's not something that's why I've tried to cut back on, taking the whole, I should have been in the playoffs last year, because obviously people were getting sick of it. That's where I need to back off and okay, I've said it enough. We're all grown folks here, as the community is meant to be. Yep. It's not to, like, my life is completely different than Nate's life, which is completely different from Penguin's life, which is completely different from Truth's life. We're all here to do what we do and have fun. Let's get back to just having fun.
Yep. And you get to determine, everybody gets to determine what that fun looks like. And I get it. And I'll say this last thing as I close out is, like, I've always said that 99.9% of problems around here could be handled if 2 dudes just hopped on voice chat and didn't type to each other. Because, man, things change when you hear that there's a real human over there. That's not just an avatar who's typing cuss words or whatever at you. Like, that's a real person with real things going on in their very real life. I try very hard to get to know each of you on an individual basis, and I'll message you throughout the week or throughout the month just to check in. How's your family? How's work? Like, how are you? Like trying to learn things about you. And the stories I've heard about dudes who have really real life things going on, but yet they play video game here, and they get shat on because they don't schedule fast enough or they don't win enough games or whatever. Like, it's just like, just being kinder to one another. And last is like, I try really hard to watch my words and especially when typing and I don't get to talk and you don't hear my tone and I try to word things in a way that hopefully doesn't get, you didn't get muted. Did something happen? No, I don't. Anyway, he's not muted. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe the other way. Anyway, if I ever handle a situation, right? Finally, he said, it's Nate today though, Chris, that needs to be muted. I've talked way too much. It is what it is. Oh, I don't know why you can't hear me. It's not my end. Shouldn't be. Anyway, if I haven't handled you improperly, just tell me and I'll apologize or I'll tell you like, hey, I didn't mean it that way or you took that the wrong, whatever it is. I try to handle you guys with respect. All right. That's a perfect sign that we need to get the heck out of here. I love you guys. We'll see you tonight. Come hang out with me. Saints versus Panthers. I'm coming for you, Panther Nation. 2-0 start. Come hang out. All right. Peace.
Yeah.
Smash that like and subscribe.